It's the end of our first season in the Premier League. There's no cup runs, other than the Carabao Cup that you saw in the last episode. There's no FA Cup drama and fairy tale story. There's no drama for Europe. There's no drama for relegation. It's just a comfortable end of season episode. So let me bring you up to speed on what's been going on. Yes, welcome back, gang. Jayhuahua here. It's the Oldham days. Season 12 will be in the books. From season number 13. Unlucky for some. Hopefully, not unlucky for us. Let's jump into this episode then. I'm nearly cutting it off, but you can just about see we are 12th. Let's have a quick look at the competition then. Fight bravely against relegation. The performance is 82%, even though we are 12th, and well clear of relegation. 2 games left. We can't finish anywhere lower than 12th. We are 7 points clear of West Ham United. We could finish as high, we'll say as 9th. Realistically, no, we can't finish as high as 9th. We could finish 10th or 11th. We've actually got Tottenham on the final day of the season, and we've got Sheffield United next, who are already relegated. James Taylor, as you can see, snuck in 3rd in terms of the goal-scoring charts. Danny Walsh for Crystal Palace, the 27-year-old, he's pretty good. He's fired Crystal Palace up to an 8th place position, and in with a chance of Europe. Burnley and Southampton vying for those places. Very tight up there. And Erling Haaland, currently top of the pile, with Phil Foden top of the pile of assists. Man City and Arsenal, Duke can get out for the title. Chelsea in with an outside chance, but going to go to City or Arsenal, I think. So after the 4-3 heroics against Newcastle, we played Crystal Palace, and as you can see here, it was a 4-1 win. Elliot Clark with a beautiful cross into Barrios, and it was 1-0 after 23 minutes. All into Rojas, making it 2 just inside the second half. And what can only be described as a calamity at the back brought Crystal Palace back into it. 2-1. Fortunately enough, though, our strikers were on the ball, and Barrios from the spot made it 3 before 2 minutes from time. We sealed victory with a beautiful 4-1 victory. Barrios across to Pino, making it 4. Barrios very unselfishly on a hat-trick, finding his strike partner. We're not going to be going through all the highlights though for all the games, because let me tell you, form has been, it looks like it's been all right, but I'll be honest with you, we've had patches of fantastic form, but we went on a stretch of 9 without a win. Starting here, 2-1 defeat to Everton, followed by a 2-0 defeat to Liverpool. Sorry, that 9 without a win comes after this game. Ignore that from before. We went 1-0 down to Aston Villa in the 48th minute. You'd think, God, winning 5-1, that was some good going. We didn't even equalise till the 70th. Loads of changes were made. Barrios was one of those substitutes, I believe. 1-1. Then here we go. Look at this now. 70. Look at the timing of these goals. James Taylor equalised, made it 2-1, sorry, in the 80th minute. In the 81st minute, Paul to Rojas, it bundled home, and it was Barrios again, I believe he was credited with. And at 82 minutes now, Aston Villa fell apart at this point. James Taylor threw again. Bang. What's that? 4? And then the 87th minute, we made it 5. Mick Civica found Barrios, who played it across, and it was Karakalic who rifled home. So 5-1 when it, like 65 minutes, we were 1-0 down. Aston Villa would be going down. Gattuso's in charge. There you are, 31 points. Peterborough are finding their way out of it, which I'm a bit annoyed about. We're scatting around all over the place, but Peterborough, on loan, they've got this guy, Paulo Henrique from Manchester City. He wanted to leave to get into the national setup. I wanted to buy him. He said, no. He's gone to Peterborough on loan. I wanted him also on loan. Man City rejected my loan offer of a £25 million future fee, mandatory. Optional future fee, £8.75 million from Peterborough. And I think he might go there. I'm a bit annoyed. I quite like the look of him because he's aerially fantastic, which is one place I'm really lacking. Let's hope he doesn't go there. Let's hope Peterborough falter, go down. Speaking of Peterborough, we drew 1-1 against them. All there is to say. James Taylor with a goal. Then we lost 2-1 to Chelsea with Paul getting a goal in the 89th minute. Lost on penalties to Everton. Disappointing. Pummeled 4-0 by Man City. You know, only 1-0 down till the 70th minute. Then we conceded 3 in like 8 minutes. City giving us the Aston Villa treatment that we gave them. The Oldham treatment to Aston Villa. You know what I'm trying to say. We then lost 3-1 to Burnley. But we started pulling things back. A 1-1 draw against Man United. A 2-2 draw against Southampton from 2-0 down. Put that on the record. 2-0 down. We brought it back to 2-2. 1-1 draw against Leicester. A 3-1 defeat to Arsenal. 2 missed penalties for Arsenal. Let's just pull this down. Tell and Bukayo Saka missed a penalty. Josimar Montoya in a 3-1 defeat getting an 8.7 and man of the match. Yeah, Josimar Montoya had to play because what's his face was injured. We drew 1-1 with Wolves, an 88th minute equaliser for James Taylor. Before we just snuck a 1-0 victory against West Ham. Moyes Vlad Paul with his 10th of the season. James Taylor missing a penalty and subsequently being substituted at half-time, getting a 6.1. We've not got the budgets for next season. In terms of the finances, next season's minimum guaranteed budget will be 19.25 million and the wages, next season's wage budget, £700,000 a week. So we're going to have an increase across the board. Now, from my perspective, I don't feel like next season's objectives are going to be any different. We'll walk and talk while we're doing this. We'll play Sheffield United while we're waffling. Oh, here we go. Transfer spend in the Premier Division. We're 4th, made a loss of £11.9 million. So we have got £20 million and, yeah, a slight increase in terms of wage budget. Now, some of our players will be getting wage rises because of the yearly wage rise in some contracts. So that's that. Some players will want a pay rise. So the majority of that transfer budget will probably be funneled into wages and will consolidate the squad that we've got. That being said, we have got probably north of £100 million worth of players that I could let go like that and then use that money to replace with some of the wonder kids that I've seen. Now, I've got a couple of players on the list that I desperately would like to get that I feel like I could get for a bargain. So we're going to have to be very shrewd in the transfer market, but there's players that we've got on the books that are worth quite a bit that I don't think are that good. Berardo, for a start, is worth about 20 to 30 million pounds. I'd let him go. Oh, awful that was. I'm going to encourage now. In terms of the defence, Caracal, Samuel, in terms of the 11 that I've got out now, I'd like to keep all these players. That being said, I will happily get rid of some of them. Stay us through. Oh, Mixirica is a player that I would happily get rid of. I don't really play a deep line playmaker, and I sort of changed the system to fit him in. He doesn't fit into my system, so I'd like to get rid of Mixirica. And I think I could probably get like £15 million, which would be a profit. Everyone I think I'd be able to sell should, in theory, go for a profit. So that would leave me needing a defensive midfielder, but there's a couple of defensive midfielders that I do have my eye on. He's offside. So I'm very confident about the summer transfer window going into season 2, and judging by the points tally that we've got this season, we're well within ourselves to stay up next season. No problem, because all the players that we've got this season, they're more settled at the club. They're getting better. Like, look at some of the players that we've got. They'll have improved throughout the season. They've settled at the club. They've got better cohesion with each other. That was a great effort. No sold that off the post. And a lot of the players have learnt English as well. That was a big problem we had. A lot of players hadn't learnt English. So it's very important that we do try and keep the core of the team very strong now. Don't really want to sell that many players, but there will be some that I do want to move on. I've not made a change. Javier Acosta is playing awful at 6.2. He's going to come off now. Busy Chops in. He's at 6.1 now. Here he is, Mixirica. Look, 16 to 18.5 million pounds. We paid 4.1. He just doesn't fit. He just doesn't fit. If I sold him for over 10 million pounds, that'd be great. Frank Pino, here's another one. I'd sell him in a heartbeat. He has been awful this season. He has not been good enough. Therefore, I'd happily let him go. And I feel like he was fantastic in coming through in the Championship. I think he's really faltered this season. Anyway, here comes Sheffield United bounding forward. Echeverry. The relegated team of Sheffield United are 1-0 up in our own backyard. Disgusting. Absolutely disgraceful. After this highlight, we're going to make a tactical change. Because we're doing awfully. I'm fuming at this performance. This is not what you want to come back for, is it? End of season review, and you get a whimper. Honestly, I can't even shout again. Get it away. Right. Oh, for God's sake. Right, we're making the changes now. Montserrat can go on the left as an inverted winger on attack. Pino on the right just as a winger. Barrios for James Taylor. Paul. So this is hardly revolutionary, is it? A 4-2-3-1 with conventional wingers. not very on brand for me. I don't like wingers that much. I don't know why. I don't feel that I feel they're very much out of the game a lot. I like to crowd it out in the middle. Anyway, we'll see. Here comes Vera. To Paul. Well, we've only got an equalised. The tactics haven't even taken effect yet. Do we persist with those tactical changes? Yeah, sod it. Demand more. Montserrat's miserable. He's someone who could go. Montserrat, not really that taken by him. This is the problem. The players that I'd like to keep are probably the ones that I'd get the most money for. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Like Paul, I'd love to keep him, but I'd probably get 40 million for him. We'll see. Montserrat's good because he's versatile, so he can play all across the attacking sort of zone. And he offers that option to sort of split it and play wingers. I just accidentally smacked my phone then. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but that was such a bad pass. Good job we've won it back. Here's Frank Pino now. Back to Vera. Back to Pino. Fantastic. But at least he's won it back. Montserrat. Oh, great. Useless. What was that for a highlight? Just giving the ball away. You're not good enough. That's that. You're not good enough. Final game of the season against Tottenham then. Let's go through to it. The Tottenham lost, so we're on 49 points and Tottenham are on 50. I will say, I feel like I don't think I've overachieved. I think I've got the most out of my players. When I came up with Sunderland on the last FM, I came back to back from League One, snuck up through the playoffs, and it was a real ropey season. I think I survived with like 2 games left. Adam Plozek and Angelo broke the bank for them, and they came up trumps. They did the business for me. But I don't think that I've been bad this season. I've certainly won a lot of the games I should have done. Sheffield United being an exception there, but like you saw the last episode, the comeback against Newcastle. We have come back and got points out of games that I feel by rights have probably been dead and buried. So the next season, it's going to be much of the same, and I feel confident that we'll stay up, and I feel very well equipped to stay up. And it's going to be a case of maybe 2 years until we get into the Europa Conference League / Europa League. Bold, isn't it? Next season, if we finish about the same, then the season after it'll be top half and pushing. I generally think that's realistic. That being said, we do need to consolidate and assess where we are as a club. Financially, we've not got the muscle or the stadium or like anything. In terms of commercial revenue, I think it was like 10 million, and the top was like 600 million, I think. Or that sort of level, like 60 times worse. So we do need to improve that massively. And then, gang, the final game of the season before we get the budgets. This is going to be the team. A couple of other things I've got, like Laurieri. He's been out on loan all season. He's not improved massively. He's still worth about 20 odd million. He's gone down a star in his overall potential. Is that because I've bought players in who are better, or has he sort of he's like 20, 21, 22 now? I'm worried that he's not going to hit his fulfill his massive. I'm worried he's not going to fulfill his full potential. Therefore, do I try and cash in for like 15 mil? Barrios! The flag's up. I felt that was on. I felt he'd held his run. They've not pumped the fists this loud. Oh, just off. Yeah, so plays like Laurieri. If I could sell him for like 10, 12, 13 million pounds, which I think is doable, maybe sell a couple of other players. You know, I could, in theory, turn my 19 million pounds. Like I'd arguably spend as much as I'll sell. 1-0 down. Don't know what happened there. Glitched out. Right, we're losing. Oh, can't even bollock him now. Montserrat. Rojas with the header over the bar. We're going to get a berating. An extra place in the Premier League is at stake here. We could go above Tottenham. Not sure if we could go above Newcastle. We win. But that 2 places is potentially millions of pounds, isn't it? I've just said I'm happy with the performance. I don't know why I've said that, because I tell you what, that's an absolute lie. I'm furious with the performance. Samuel, for Victor Jayhuahua, and you're coming off for Mick Sirica, the waste of space that he is. Barrios is playing well. Paul and Taylor are playing crap. We've got an injury. Taylor's coming off for Castella. There we go. In Paul we trust. Oh, they're all buzzing. Don't want to shout anything yet. Highlight to Spurs. Gibbon. Cabello, Fabio Luiz, Antonio Carlos. It's just liquid football, isn't it? They're just walking through us. It should have been 2. Ixirica, 17 passing, 17 panicking more like. Vera's getting a 6.5. Paul's getting a 6.4. Montserrat's come on getting a 6.4. Demand more. Right, I'm going to freak him out. Absolutely going to freak him out. Montserrat, get on the wing. Paul, get there. Barrios, you come in here. Paul, advanced playmaker on support. Montserrat, hang on. Barrios, shadow striker on attack. Montserrat, I'm going to put him over here. I'm going to put him on inside forward on attack. Mixirica and Chukwudi. Chukwudi on the ball winner. Mixirica here. Paul for Berardo. I don't know what we're doing. Liverpool are battering Arsenal. City are going to win the league. That much we do know. Anyway, come on. Surely there's a little bit of something left. This episode's been crap, hasn't it? Do you know what? At least, I hope in the end of season review, one to remember was the 4-3 win against Newcastle, because that probably was the highlight of the season. I'm glad you were here for it, gang. Berardo's broken through. And he's equalised. It's his second of the season when him and Paul have been playing in the number 10 role. And Berardo's sometimes gone up front. Second, Paul's got 10. Is there any wonder why I prefer Paul? Great ball from Barrios. But we'll have a quick look at the team in a minute. When we get the budgets, and because the minimum that they've stated, I'd like to think I'm going to get a bit more. What was that? Rifled it home. Goal awarded. You come back into it. We've got battered, haven't we? Tottenham have absolutely done us here. Look at that. 2.97 XG. Far from pleased with that result. There we go then. 17.38 million in the Premier League. Where's the budgets? 700,000 and 36.48 million pounds. So they've nearly doubled what we were going to get in terms of transfer budget. So if we have a quick look, let's have a quick look at the transfer history actually. So this season, for example, we've spent £53 million. There was a bit of it last season, but we've recouped £41.5 million. So that's a net transfer spend of £11.5 million for a comfortably mid-table Premier League finish, like easily avoided relegation. The promotion season, we actually made a profit of £43 million on players. And I'll be honest with you, who did we buy here on a panic? Caceres, who is worth this. I've barely played him all season. He's going out on loan at the very least, potentially going out the door permanently. Alexandro, he's out on loan. He's on at Stoke. He's not kicked on. He's worth that. I bought him for that. I think it's time to try and cash in. If I got 5 million for him, I'd take that. It's profit. It's money that's going to go back into the club. Players like Barrios. He's got more potential to give. He's 20. He's young. He's a wonder kid. He is going to be a superstar, but look at how much he's worth. I could genuinely get 100 million for him. Is anyone worth keeping for 100 million pounds? The answer's no. Like, we could literally go and spend 30 million pounds on 3 players and they would be world class. Like Rizzo, again, spent 6 million. He's now worth 55 to 71. Montserrat, 34 to 46. Latinovic, again, another centre-back. I've got 3 centre-backs that are all worth massive amounts of money, which I think is something to consider, isn't it? Something to consider. Samuel, he's not kicked on as much as I would have liked, to be perfectly honest with you. £14 million we paid for him. Peterborough won him. Someone came in for around 30 million. Would I accept? I think because he's still classed as a wonder kid and he has got more potential in him and he's consistent, I'd probably want to keep Samuel because his value's not enough that would make me want to sell him. 40 to 50 million. He's gone. But I don't think the profit's there for him. You've got Pulovic as well. He's injury prone. He's not played loads this season. He's decent. But again, I'd sell him because I want the money. Rob Jenkins is going to leave. Alan Davis could leave for me. Leighton Stewart. Kane Fuller's going to explore his options. He's not even worth his £12 million non-promotion release clause now. But he's going to leave at the end of his contract. I'll probably try and sell him in the summer. 2 starts, 2 off the bench. No goals. Kane Fuller love. Oh. He had 1 good season, and what a season it was. Phenomenal season, but it just didn't kick on the next couple. And in our promotion winning season, it was his worst season for us apart from this one, which says it all, doesn't it? Says it all. So we've got a lot of money. We do have a lot of money. That's brilliant. So I think I can sell 50 to 60 million pounds worth of player. We've got 100 million pounds to spend. A for Barrios, B- for Maheta Costea. Again, he's got potential. He did well for me this season. Maybe could have done better. He's classed as a decent player for most Premier Division sides. I don't want to be gutting the squad too much, but if £3 million, if someone came in for about, they'd have to pay at least this. But I'd certainly consider an offer of nearly £20 million for him because he is 21. Montserrat got a B-. He's got a £46 million minimum fee release clause. Yeah. Rizzo, A+. Oliveira, A+, because he was fantastic. What's he worth now? 35 to 46 million. Conceded 62 in the Premier League, only 4 clean sheets. Didn't think I was that bad in defence. B+ for Samuel, B- for... All right, they've moved this all around now. Latinovic got an A+. Vera, B. Vibas, A+. Yeah. Transfers out. Okay, then let's have a look. Paul Muscat, whatever. Zayak, they weren't happy about that. Sorry. 13.5 million from £1 million. Great bit of business. And Dongler, good profit. Kavanagh, the board are disappointed with the deal to sell him because yes, he was a quality player, but we had other options in the squad we'd bought and replaced. Okay, Mick Sirica's not kicked on. Gareth McCann, he threw his toys out the pram, didn't he? Ross Wyatt, Jacob Chalmers, Gareth Rogers, Craig Forrester, ever. A- with the mid-table position within the Premier League. Leicester have qualified for the Champions League. Have they won the Europa League? FA Cup B-, going out to Everton. Carabao Cup B- getting to the semis. Biggest win was the 5-1 against Norwich. The match to remember was a 4-2 against Wolves. But the goal of the season, well, at least this game featured goal of the season, and it was this one. This was goal of the season. You were here for it. Let's remind ourselves of the glory. What? Goal of the season? Hello, 3.5 star. It's not changed over the past season. Yes, it has. We only had a 3-star before. Taylor, Barrios, Stewart, Costea and Karakalic. Everything's up. Finances. Player of the season, James Taylor. Young player of the season, Costea. Signing of the season, Barrios. Highest transfer fee paid, £17.5 million. Most assists, Karakalic with 8. We did pretty good, to be honest. Sod off manager timeline. Rubbish. So that's the end of the first season in the Premier League. Thanks for joining me. Hope you had a good time watching. I've had a great time playing. It's exciting that I feel that next season's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be even better. But, well, what's the expectation? Spend the original transfer budget favoured. Work within the wage budget fine. Expand the stadium is in progress. Avoid relegation. So it's actually avoid relegation now, not attempt. So going down will not be accepted. Not tolerated at all. I think I don't want to say we're too good to go down. Who did go down? Aston Villa on goal difference. Got anyone good? I'll go through the relegated teams and see if there's any young players that pique my interest. We will, of course, be signing the minimum of 6 foreign wonder kids or foreign under 21-year-olds. That is a given. I feel like now I've got enough youngsters that I'll be bringing some more youngsters in to go out on loan. I'm thinking that if I've got a bit of money spare, I'll probably be buying a couple of players that are a little bit older, maybe a 25, 26-year-old. I'm thinking a 24, 25-year-old for the defensive midfield position, ball-winning midfielder, marshalling people, bit of experience. So we'll be back to avoid relegation. The training facilities are going to be completed very, very soon. And yeah, I guess we'll be back for the start of the season / couple of games in, maybe. Depends on what's happening in the transfer market. I mean, there will be a transfer roundup, of course, at the start of next season. And there could be a lot of ins, there could be a lot of outs. But one thing's for sure, we're in a much stronger position going into this summer than we were last summer. Because I think, looking at the squad, let's look at the team for a start. Who did we not have last season? We didn't have Barrios. We didn't have Samuel. Latinovic. We did have Rojas. We didn't have Rizzo. We didn't have Vera. Didn't have Oliveira. Ribas, Montserrat. We did have Acosta. Did have Berardo. Didn't have Costea. So out of the starting 11 and the bench, 5. So 9 of the 20 we didn't have here. So nearly half. So we did actually manage to keep quite a few players that we did have in the Championship. Because Paul came in January last season, didn't he? Yes, he did, yeah. Came when we were in the Championship. There's Paul. He's worth 31 to 36 million pounds. The problem I've got with Paul, right, is I don't think he's actually worth that much. And look at his attributes. I don't think his attributes set the world on fire. He just plays well. He gets results. He's got goals and assists. 8 goals, 7 assists in the league. Can't put a price on that. Well, you can, but it's much more than that. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm waffling. It's going to go on very long, this episode. So, end of season. Thanks for watching me. Thanks for being here, gang. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. Can't wait to go and do this transfer window. So, that's what I'm going to go and do. And I'll be back with the next episode with hopefully a lot of new faces. And hopefully a few players have been sold. But I don't know who I want to get rid of, really. There's a couple of people I do want to get rid of. There's a few people I'd like to keep, but the money could be too good if people come in. So, we'll see. Till next time, gang. Take care. And I'll see you soon.